tongue, bide my time.
Your lives
Wait till the world is mine.
depend on what you do next.
So for these ocean eyes.
Choose wisely.
After more than a decade of anticipation, Diablo fans can finally experience another fantastic Diablo game. The fourth major installment in the series is on par with what many consider the franchise's masterpiece, Diablo 2, which means it's far better than Diablo 3. The powerful and evocative cutscenes, as well as a well-crafted tale, have returned. These have long been a series fixture, but its enchantment diminished with the advent of Diablo 3 and its expansions. Diablo IV made me fall back in love with the series. Although the game is not without flaws, it does recapture the majority of what made the beloved series so popular among action RPG enthusiasts. More importantly, Diablo IV represents a clear progression of the franchise and a significant step forward. Diablo IV's plot mostly disregards the events of the prior main chapter, while characters from Diablo 3 are undoubtedly addressed in the new game. The majority of Diablo IV's plot takes place in Sanctuary, a planet established by Lilith and Anarius, a demon and an angel who grew tired of the never-ending conflict between the two primal factions. The creation of the universe resulted in the birth of hybrid creatures known as Nephilim, which would grow to be more powerful than demons and angels. Lilith is expelled from Sanctuary for slaying those who wished to harm the Nephilim after preventing their extinction. Anarius intends to use the World Stone, the magical treasure used to construct Sanctuary, to gradually lower the Nephilim's power until they are nearly human. Everything from the past is gradually forgotten or becomes folklore. Lilith, on the other hand, has never forgotten that Anarius denied her children's future and expelled her from Sanctuary, and she decides to return to the Hidden Realm and reawaken the long-lost power of the Nephilim. It is at this point when the protagonist, you, enters the picture. Your main goal, as in previous Diablo games, is to track down and slay a large demon, in this case Lilith. However, things aren't as straightforward as they appear at first look. After a few chapters, it is evident that both factions, angels and demons, are willing to go to any length to keep the others from conquering the hearts and minds of the Nephilim. Because if you can't destroy them, you can try to recruit them. You'll be visiting large cities and smaller towns across Sanctuary in your search for Lilith, hunting for allies and uncovering the demon's ambitions. The Sanctuary region is vast, but the quantity of side quests available to players is considerably greater. When you reach a specific level of fame with a settlement, you are given numerous benefits such as skill points and gold. It's a nice incentive for gamers who want to level up quickly, but it has little bearing on the quality of the side tasks. I admit that I like to read all of the material when I'm offered a side mission, and I like some of Chem, but I'm confident that the vast majority of them are basic fetch quests. The gameplay loop, on the other hand, makes this bearable. I made a character for each class to observe how they interact and whether some are more strong than others. I adore my necromancer since all I have to do is hide behind my minions and shoot foes with bones. I also enjoy my rogue because he's fast and can do a lot of damage with just one or two skills. However, the sorcerer is still my favorite class because it is one of the few who can inflict more damage while standing stationary rather than moving. Even after the patch that nerfed several of its skills, Barbarian is still a spin-to-win class, while Druid is another fantastic class that allows a variety of playstyles. Every class in Diablo IV is playable and has a unique playstyle. If you want to min-max, you'll be glad to know that you may instantly refund skills if you want to check out our other builds. It simply costs a small amount of gold, but nothing to be concerned about. Every battle mechanic has been fine-tuned to perfection, making Diablo IV one of the smoothest action RPGs I've ever played. There are several stats, gems, enchantments, aspects, and imprints to consider for each build, making the game even more exciting. Diablo IV isn't perfect, and if you're a math person, you'll quickly notice that there are a number of elements that aren't balanced at all, to the player's detriment, or are completely absent. The same can be said for some quality of life enhancements that I wish the game had from launch. For example, I would have preferred that the diamonds that drop not take up space in my inventory. Diablo IV includes separate inventory tabs for elixirs and quest items, but none for gems. Because these are rather common things that drop from chests and foes, they will quickly fill your inventory. Another significant omission is the absence of a shared map. If you conclude a tale with a character and spend time exploring every nook and cranny, the map will not be fully discovered for the next character you create. You'll most likely see a few portals appear on the map, but not the entire map. Despite these minor difficulties, I'm optimistic that Blizzard will address them in the future. Perhaps a loot buddy, similar to Diablo 3, would be a wonderful addition as well. Diablo IV is without a doubt one of the best action RPGs of all time, on level with, if not better than, Diablo 2, the height of Blizzard's creative efforts. Even before you finish the story, the amount of content available to you is mind-boggling. In terms of the end game, which for many gamers is when the game truly begins, I'm convinced that Diablo IV will keep you amused for years to come. Diablo IV is the Diablo game I've been waiting to play for a decade, with a captivating story, wonderful cutscenes, and fantastic voice acting. It's all I hope for and more.
You should see me in the crowd.